FFL. It's always good to have him there to express the issues and talk to us, educate us. I'm sorry, I see a lot of new faces in here. I only had the old same ugly face to bring in here. It just got a lot more hair on it this year. But I just love being in front of y'all. I just love to see and know what you do. How many of you got to walk a picket line this summer at Staples? We did it, didn't we, brother? Up there in Little Rock, two of them. I enjoy that kind of stuff. I like to be rowdy. That's not going to get us where we need to be here in these elections. You just heard the gentleman speak. I'm going to start off with his campaign. Now, let's keep it in order. Senator Pryor. I don't know if you like him or not. You know who he's running against? Tom Cotton. He used to be the congressman in the 4th District. Whose back pocket's he in? I see a vision of Tom Cotton bent over and the Koch brothers got their pockets, hands in his pocket giving him money. I thought I was going to say something else. Some friends in here.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, but I'm serious. They're feeding him all this money to be. They're not beating Senator Pryor. It's not about Senator Pryor. It's about y'all. These people are just people in these spots supposed to be carrying our message, supporting us. Koch brothers, I can tell you, I worked in a paper mill 22 years. I know what they've done down in the Cross of Arkansas, shutting that plant down, other places. It's about them. They want to control state government. They want to control federal government. They don't want a middle class. They make you feel like you're the middle class. I do. I'm proud of it. Maybe some of you are better. You invested than I did. I should have probably hung on to mine longer. Or married less, maybe. But, you know, Cotton is, he wouldn't even come, he wouldn't answer a question here. He wouldn't even come to our convention and talk to us about an interview. That's what kind of person he is. When he was supposed to be in Warren, Arkansas, that tomato festival, talking to people like other candidates and answering questions, he was at the resort up there, wherever, California, somewhere with the Koch brothers, filling a war chest up.
Yep.
I mean, if you want to continue that, don't go to the polls. You'll have Tom Cotton. One thing that's going to carry this through in that race is the turnout. If we don't get our members educated about the issues, what Pryor has and hadn't done, what Cotton has and hadn't done, you know what? They're not going to go to the polls. You're going to have Tom Cotton in there. Let's go to the 1st District. How many of you from the 1st District? Jackie McPherson up there's got a rough race against Crawford. I mean, a really rough race. Same story there. I've met with Jackie and Vicky several times. They came to her convention, did the interview, answered the questionnaire, been several of her functions. That's an important race. We go to the 2nd District. How many of you from the 2nd District? Pat Hayes. Hey, that's an important race. We got, right now, what I'm hearing and seeing on the polls and the numbers are that that's one of our best chances right there to take a seat over. Who's he running against? A banker, French Hill. Come out the other day, said he doesn't support the minimum wage increase. Now the governor and Tom Cotton's, or the governor, excuse me, Asa Hutchinson, and Tom Cotton now has come out and supported it now that it's got on the ballot. Who helped get it on the ballot? Organized labor. We put 75% of the money in there, $362,000. How many members you think we're going to get off of it? 0. We're helping the ones that need the help. It needs to come up. This title of a working poor, I think that's horrible. There shouldn't be a deal of working poor. If you work, you shouldn't be poor. No, maybe this job's not as important as this one up here, but damn it, give them a minimum wage. Let them raise a family they can afford. Let them have the same chances in schools, sports, and all that everybody else has. We're the part of that. We're coming back now. They're wanting some more money from organized labor to get that minimum wage. Everybody out there at polls, 75% approval. We just got to get everybody to the polls to help it out. What happens when you raise the minimum wage? It makes it easier for us to get wages because they have to compete for people. Right now it's going the other way for business and Koch brothers because they got the wage down. Hell, they'll steal you jobs right now to get to work. It's just a true fact. 3rd District, we don't have a chance. Womack has no opposition. He's there. Bozeman, no race. He's not in. 4th District, James Lee Witt right here. I can tell you a little bit about the guy he's running against. How many from Hot Springs? You know Mr. Westerman, don't you? Remember when he started his ad out? He's state representative. He started his ad out. He wore the Razorback jersey because he played football at Fable. That was his only recognition. Then he got slapped for it because he wasn't supposed to be wearing that Arkansas jersey campaign like that, using it. But he was one of them that was. How many of you remember when Obama ran for office? What were the issues? Pardon? Speak up. All right, health care right here. What else was it?
Issues for or against?
Pardon?
You say issues
Well,
for the country?
what was out there, the issues?
The economy.
Jobs, health care. Health care was the biggest one right there. You know, he went out, took that challenge on, tried the health care. How many of you believe?
And a magnet for negativity. How many of you agree with that? Okay. A good shop steward, as I say, wears many hats and has varied roles. Political activists, as Alan spoke on. First, get to know, the political, what's going on, so you can educate. Just letting the steward, the grievant, know that if they file a grievance, let them know that, hey, your grievance was settled, or what have you, and then, you have to be somewhat of a satellite as far as on the workroom floor. Just listen to what's going on the workroom floor so that you can also take the information back to the union meeting, just to let others know, what's going on, as far as knowing what's going on the workroom floor. Next, you have to, as Alan also said, be an educator. Just educate them on what's going on, with the union. And as always, a good shop steward, you have to listen and listen to the response and respectfully defend the union officers when they are right, but do not add to discontent or bad-mouthing when they are mistaken. And what I mean by that is, if you hear some workers on the workroom floor, and always, be an organizer, union organizer. You must be professional at all times. You must put the needs of the employee first and foremost. And last but not least, we spoke upon, recruiting the non-union members. And the Form 1187 is, is to be used to,
Yeah, I'm Tony Krause from the Fayetteville local. Some of the information that we learned over the week, it's kind of a blur, but part of the makeup of the grievance that I learned, that I tell them what you told her. Well, in the body, they were talking about compartmentalization. Eat away at every argument, defeat it with all sorts of evidence, exhibits. Include in your packet copies of all that evidence, whether it's come from your RFI or for the contract, so that it's all there in the body. It's reference it in the body, whether you take out portions of the sentence or reference it, the Article 38. Have it all there in the body of that step one, so that when they go to look at it, they know where you're getting your information from, and it makes it harder for them to contradict it, or to say, oh, it's not true. Right here, look for it. It was very, very instrumental and very educational. I really, before now, I didn't realize what all went involved in doing the step ones. It's all the learning from even working with some of the my brothers and sisters, that it charged me up, or I want to do this now. One thing they made the comment was, be a steward. It's got to be in your blood. If it's not in your blood, you may not be a steward, a year or two later. basically what I wanted to bring up. I want to turn it over to Manny.
I'm Manny Navarro from the Blythe local. They said. When I first started as a steward about 5 years ago, you know, Johnny, he was trying to help me out. He would tell me, man, you gotta do this, man, you gotta do that. And I'm like, yeah, okay, Johnny, you know, I mean, I wasn't really getting it. And I would write up grievances and he'd get them, and then he'd kind of try to coach me through it. Well, you know, you got to put this in. I thought he was just being nagging, you know. God, it's always nagging. He said. So then he made me a step 2, and then when I got to the step 2s, I started seeing why I needed to construct these grievances better. You know, because I mean, when I would get to the step 2 discussion, I'd be like, oh man, he's really kicking my ass, you know. I don't know what I'm doing, you know. So I said, I need to go to this college, and I went there, and it was amazing because they broke it down piece by piece by piece. You know, they went from going from the beginning of taking the problem or the violation and taking that and making 3 or 4 or 5, 6 arguments out of just that one violation. You know, the more you put in there, the better, because they can't come back later and say, well, that wasn't there. You know, I don't know what you're talking about. They can argue something else because you can cut off their avenues of argument. And I think this college is great for everyone. Everyone should go. Honestly, I wish everyone in this room could go, because it really breaks down the process. I mean, to the T, to the last period. I mean, it shows you what you're supposed to do, what your job is, what your role is as a steward, to make sure you make a great grievance, so that way when these guys get it, if they happen to get it past step 2 and it goes to 3 and they get it and they look at it, they're like, great, you know, it's less they got to do because they got a lot on their table, you know, already. You know, if we can help them out more, I mean, honestly, that's what we're supposed to do. You know, as stewards is make sure that we do our part, because they have you know, 500-600 grievances they got to talk about, and if they're trying to sit there and piece together what little bit of, you know, paperwork that we sent them, it's going to be a lot harder for them to do their job.
Amen.
So we do our job, and that's what the college taught us, is just do your job, do it right, and do it on the clock. You know, that's what they pay us to do, it on the clock. You know, they want to violate, that's their fault. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I have to contribute to it.
Sound better than
All
law
right,
school.